Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's going on? So it's fight week. Yet again, it's fight week. Back to back to back to back smoke we've been getting these last few weeks with boxing, man. And it's just going to continue. We got so many fun matchups lined up, so many meaningful matchups lined up. And this week in particular, we have SHAKUR Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez, a unification match. And then we also have Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, undisputed. Amazing, man. I'm so excited about this week of boxing, but I really wanted to talk about SHAKUR Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. This is a fight that I've been looking forward to for a long time. Oscar Valdez is a guy that SHAKUR Stevenson has had his eye on since they were both at 126. And, those Oscar Valdez have been doing a whole lot of maneuvering and moving around and, lightweight avoiding SHAKUR Stevenson. I really have to give Oscar Valdez credit because when the fans got on his ass, when he popped dirty for drugs, I know he felt embarrassed about that shit. And I know he was kind of shame about that shit. And, the fans got on his ass, man, on social media. The fans was really calling for this fight, bro, saying you ducking SHAKUR Stevenson. We need this fight, and you a drug cheat and all this shit. I think that really got to Oscar Valdez. And though he has done a lot of maneuvering and things like that, I think you got to give Oscar Valdez some credit for manning up, letting his nuts drop and saying, fuck it, man, I'm going to get in there with him. It is what it is. I'm in my prime. SHAKUR Stevenson is right at that level where he is about to enter his prime. And he ain't, in my opinion, he ain't quite there yet. I think he's still growing, still getting better. But that says a lot about SHAKUR Stevenson with him still growing and still getting better, still sharpening up, but being at such a high level intellectually, skillfully, and, just being dominant in the ring with his own style. That says a lot about the potential of SHAKUR Stevenson. And, Oscar Valdez, he's a really good fighter, man. I like to watch Oscar Valdez fight because he got some skills. He's a boxer puncher. You know what I'm saying? He got some skills. He can be technical at times. And I think with him being with Eddie Reynoso, that will continue to help him develop his game even more and be more technical, work on his defense, work on his head movement, and just pick his shots better. But he can also brawl. He actually prefers to brawl. I seen the sit down with him and SHAKUR Stevenson, and he was talking about, look, man, I can box and I can do this and do that, but of course I prefer to brawl. That's the style that the fans love, and that's the style that I'm accustomed to. And I think that's Oscar Valdez's go-to. That's his bread and butter, is to make it dirty, fight on the inside, and just go blow for blow with you. That's what he really liked to do. And I think this is going to be a really fun fight to watch. This is your classic boxer versus come forward fighter type of stylistic matchup. Though I just talked about how Oscar Valdez can do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then also with SHAKUR Stevenson, he can fight too. We haven't really seen him push to the level of having to fight tooth and nail because he's so dominant and so skilled with and being able to control distance and make a guy fight at a specific distance that he want to fight at, where he can pick you off and not get touched very often by you. So that's something that SHAKUR Stevenson has pretty much mastered. So we really haven't seen him in a dogfight. But I'm telling you from what I know, I'm telling you from sparring footage I've seen, I'm telling you from the mentality of SHAKUR Stevenson, I'm telling you from the physical ability and the skills of SHAKUR Stevenson, that if it did come down to a dogfight, that motherfucker can fight. So, like I said, both of these guys can do different things, but at the core of them, we know SHAKUR Stevenson is a master boxer. He's an outboxer. He like to hit and not get hit, keep you at a distance, and control you from the outside in that mid-range. We know Oscar Valdez, primarily, he wants to come forward and make it a fight. And that's what I think you're going to see in this fight. I think for Oscar Valdez, the keys to victory is to get on the inside, use his jab coming forward to work his way on the inside. He gonna have to make Shakur Stevenson feel his power early. I think that's gonna be the key. If you look at Shakur Stevenson versus Nakatila, the African guy who just knocked out Burchelt, in that fight, he felt like he had a bad performance. I too felt like it wasn't his best performance, even though he won all the rounds. But one of the key things in that fight is that I think he felt Nakatila's power early, and that made Shakur Stevenson want to keep it on the outside and just get an easy win. I think that was, he can say, man, I didn't look that good, and it very well may have been him fighting down to the level of the competition, because Nakatila was, a part-time police officer, a relatively unknown guy. He wasn't a guy that you just get up for, especially when you're a fighter of Shakur Stevenson's caliber. But I also believe that Nakatila's power made Shakur Stevenson be like, you know what, man, this dude kind of awkward. He can hit hard. Man, let me stay on the outside and work my move and get on up out of here with this easy victory. Beat him 12 rounds of zip, because that's the type of skills that Shakur that he got. If he want to fight you, if he want to make it a fight, he control the pace of the fight. If he want to make it a fight, he can make it a fight. If he want to just keep your ass at bay, he can keep your ass at bay. So for Oscar Valdez, I think he gonna have to make Shakur Stevenson feel his power early, so that way Shakur ain't as comfortable or as confident fighting multiple ways. Make him fight one way. You know what I'm saying? Make his ass stay on the outside. And then he gonna have to close that distance and go to the body, throw punches in bunches. His work rate gonna have to be crazy. You can't have those spots where there's lows in the action, and you just sitting there waiting on Shakur Stevenson, or you just throwing one shot at a time. Nah, you gonna have your conditioning and stamina gonna have to be on point, and you gonna have to throw punches in bunches on Shakur. You gonna have to put him in positions and make him open up when he don't want to open up. Now, there's going to be difficulty in that, because Shakur Stevenson is a master counterpuncher. He's a master at making you overextend yourself, missing, and then getting picked off with blistering combinations. He's a master at that shit, so it's going to be difficult. But for Shakur Stevenson, I think it's simple for him, man. Just box. Just box. Use your jab. Keep Oscar Valdez at bay. Run him into shots that he don't see. Control the distance. You control the distance, you control the pace. You control the pace, you control the fight. You make Oscar Valdez fight at your pace. Make him, I saw it in the sit down, Shakur Stevenson said, I'm gonna mentally drain him. I'm basically gonna frustrate him. When you get in there and you realize you can't hit me, it's gonna be mentally draining. And you're gonna be like, damn, like fuck it. I like on some no mas type shit. Like Sugar Ray Leonard did on Roberto Duran. I can't even hit this motherfucker, man. I'm a quit. He embarrassing me. You know what I'm saying? I can't take no more of this. That shit is mental pressure and is mentally draining when you are in there with a guy that's just superior to you with the ring IQ and ring generalship. He's controlling everything. You can't get. You done trained 8 to 10 weeks for this fight, and you can't even get in there and show what you got, because you can't even hit the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That shit is a downer. And I think that's Shakur Stevenson. That's gonna be. It's real simple for Shakur Stevenson in this fight, in my opinion. I ain't saying it's an easy fight. It can look easy, but I think the game plan is real simple. Just beat Shakur Stevenson in box. Keep his ass outside. Keep him at bay. When he overextend because he got shorter reach, he gonna have to overextend and get shit off if he don't use the jab effectively to get on the inside. When he overextend and he miss, you pick his ass off and make him pay. Now, my final prediction, I got Shakur Stevenson winning by a one-sided unanimous decision. Now, this shit could end in a stoppage. It all depends on how aggressive Oscar Valdez is. I can see Shakur Stevenson putting on an accumulation of ass whooping like he did versus Jamel Herring. Just too many punches. It get to the point where Valdez simply can't defend himself no more. All swole up and shit. And the ref gonna have to stop it. I can see that. A late round TKO. This shit could look like Mayweather versus Gotti. But then at the same time, this shit could look like, you can have a situation where Valdez crack Shakur Stevenson with some shit and knock him out. That's the outlier. That's the thing that I think that's a possibility that I don't see that's likely to happen, but it can happen because Oscar Valdez got real power. And he can crack Shakur Stevenson with some shit that he never been hit with before, and he can end it all. You know what I'm saying? But I think the two most likely outcomes is Shakur Stevenson, number one, by unanimous decision, just controlling the pace of the fight. Your typical classic bull versus matador, running them into shit. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Shakur Stevenson going to outbox him and make him look like an amateur. Make him look like he don't deserve to be in the ring with Shakur Stevenson. And then I think the second most likely outcome is Shakur Stevenson by late round TKO. And the third and the less likely outcome is, as far as the possible outcomes, I really can't see Oscar Valdez outboxing Shakur, no shit like that. But as far as the possible outcomes that I see, the least likely one is Valdez by knockout. It is possible. I wouldn't rule that shit out completely. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I got, man. I got Shakur Stevenson by unanimous decision. He could get a stoppage. Don't be surprised if he beat up Valdez so bad and make him quit, or somebody gonna have to stop the fight. Because he was a little messed up in that Robson-Conceição fight. He was getting beat up in that fight a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Getting out boxing, he was getting frustrated and getting beat up a little bit. So don't be surprised if Shakur Stevenson stopped Valdez. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. We'll talk about, I'll probably go live or some, Saturday before the Amanda Serrano and the Katie Taylor fight. And we'll touch on that fight briefly. You know what I'm saying? I know. Some motherfuckers ready to see that fight and excited about it. Some don't really, care too much about this shit. But we'll touch on it, though. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Who y'all got? Shakur Stevenson or Oscar Valdez? And why? Break that shit down. Tell me why you think this person is going to win or that person, man. Y'all let me know, man. Contender Regime Boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.